Minced beef is one of the meals I first learned how to cook when my interest in cooking started budding. Many of my readers have requested me to give them a recipe on how to make it delicious and a bit more exciting, and today I'm going to show you how I cook mine, and you're going to see just how easy it is to make delicious minced beef each time round. So for today's episode, we are back to basics and it's minced beef. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my channel. The first thing we're going to do is to sear our meat, and the reason why I prefer searing my meat as opposed to boiling it is because when you sear the meat, it browns and caramelizes really well, and that lends to the end result of the dish, both in terms of appearance and flavor. Also, when you sear it as opposed to boiling it, the fat really renders well, and that develops the flavor of the beef. So that's why I always choose searing over boiling. You should also do the same. I'm going to sear my beef together with Dania stems just to infuse more flavor into the beef. Dania stems compared to Dania leaves have a more intense flavor, which makes them the perfect ingredient for the initial stages of cooking because that flavor lends to the end result itself. Also, in contrast to Dania leaves, Dania stems really take up the intense heat associated with the beginning stages of cooking really well, whereas the leaves will wilt and just die off, but the stems really take up the heat very well, making them the perfect ingredients for the beginning stages of cooking when you want to build a much richer, much layered flavor. That being said, always remember, Dania stems go at the beginning of any dish while cooking, while Dania leaves go at the end as a garnish and to introduce a bit of freshness to your dish. Don't forget that. I've sung that song a million times on Twitter, but it wouldn't hurt to repeat once again. Now that my meat is cooked through, perfectly caramelized and super aromatic, we are now going to go to the next stage, which is the stewing stage. And for the beginning ingredients, I'm going to use red onion, green hoho, and some minced garlic. Smells so good! I like this aroma. I really do. Ideally, I would have added the chopped Dania stems at this stage, but I chose to add them at the initial stage because I want each level of cooking to introduce its own individual taste and character. And by now, you should know, cooking good food is not about using expensive ingredients, but it's about using the ingredients you have at hand and ingredients you can find readily available, layering them and introducing flavor and depth with each layer. Remember, it's never about cooking with expensive things, but about cooking with what you can readily find. You can very easily find your Dania right with your mama mbogas, very easily find your hoho at your mama mbogas, so truly you have no excuse for not enjoying good food. We're just going to cook our onions, hoho and garlic until everything is sauteed and super fragrant, and we're at that stage. So the next step, we're going to add our tomatoes and our tomato paste. I prefer using fresh tomatoes and tomato paste for this dish specifically because tomato paste really deepens the red color of the tomatoes and also helps thicken the tomatoes themselves. And remember, for a nice thick stew, a nice minced meat dish at the end, you have to get it right at the tomato base. That means a nice thick tomato base will give you a nice thick, very rich minced beef at the end. So I advise you use both tomatoes, fresh tomatoes and tomato paste for your minced beef. Next is my absolute favorite part, and this is the stage where we add our spices for seasoning. And for this dish, I chose to use paprika, black pepper, a bit of royco, and some thyme. Thereafter, we're going to add some hot water bit by bit, mixing with each addition and stopping once we attain our level of preferred thickness. Paprika is gotten from crushed dried sweet peppers, and I like it because it builds the nice rich red color for this dish, but also because it's rich in beta carotene. Black pepper spice comes from crushing the black pepper seeds themselves, and I like using black pepper in almost all my savory dishes because it helps in maintaining digestive health. I almost forgot. Thyme, which is one of my favorite herbs for savory dishes, it really complements the flavor of red meats, but also helps to ease the effects of arthritis. So don't shy away from your spices, don't shy away from your herbs. They come from plants and they add flavor to your food, so there's no reason why you should not cook with them. The very first time I started cooking with thyme, it was one of my least favorite herbs of all time. Ooh, thyme. Anyway, so when I added thyme to minced meat one day, all the people in my family, they just weren't like excited to eat my food. And you know, that rarely happens. And when that happens, I usually know something went fatally wrong. So my mom pulled me aside and she just told me, you know what? There's something you either added in excess or something you added to the meat that does not belong to this particular dish. So I sat down and really thought about where I went wrong, and I realized I added way too much thyme to my minced beef. Thyme, especially when it's dried, a little bit goes a long way, and once you know how to use it and when to use it, you're going to fall in love with it just as much as I have with mine. Also, don't get discouraged when you make mistakes in the kitchen. Kupotea njia ndo kujua njia. So each time you make a mistake, just sit yourself down, do a bit of introspection and find out exactly where you went wrong, correct your mistake and move on and become better. That's the only way you grow better and better and better. Make your mistakes, learn from them and move forward. Our tomatoes have thickened, our spices have really melded, and now that everything is ready and set to go, we are now going to add our minced beef, followed by some carrots. Mix everything in until completely coated and thick. Cover with a lid and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. I like adding carrots to my minced beef just to introduce some textural components, and also I cut my carrots really small so that they cook really fast, and also so that I can have a taste of everything with each spoonful. You can add some peas if that's what you like, but since I didn't have any at hand, I chose to skip that entirely. Now this will simmer. This stage is what will produce the nice thickness of the stew, so don't rush it, and also it will further darken and deepen in color and flavor, so do not really don't rush this step, please guys. We're not eating swampy food. So we'll let this simmer, and after that we are done. And we're done! Just because something is Basic does not mean it has to taste boring, and this is true testament of that statement. Make sure you try this out. Let me know what you think about this recipe. Let me know the personal twist you've added to this recipe. Take pictures, tag me on any social media platform. Don't forget to share this recipe. And because this recipe is not on the blog, I'm going to link everything on the description box. Full recipe. Share it with your family. Share it in all your WhatsApp groups. Share it with everyone you love, and please enjoy good food each time round. For me, it's now time to eat, so I can't resist this, so I'm going to give it a try right now. Woo! Woo!